There is a moment in almost every believer's life when someone reaches out, places a hand near you, and says, "Let me pray for you." And in that moment, something in us shuts off our discernment completely. We assume that because words are spiritual, the source must be safe. But here is a question that could change how you receive prayer for the rest of your life. Does every voice lifted toward heaven actually reach it? Scripture never assumed all prayer was equal. In Proverbs 28:9, we read something startling. "If anyone turns a deaf ear to my instruction, even their prayers are detestable." Read that again. Not ineffective, detestable. That means the condition of the person praying can actually corrupt the prayer itself. Today we are not talking about doubting God. We are talking about discerning who carries His voice and who is simply borrowing His name. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to protect your spirit the next time someone offers to pray over you, and you will never receive prayer carelessly again. Sign 1. The one who prays loud but walks in secret compromise. There is a kind of prayer that is designed to impress the room more than reach the throne. And underneath it, sometimes, is a life that looks nothing like the prayer being spoken. Think about King Saul in 1 Samuel 15. After disobeying God's direct instruction, Saul still went through the motions of worship. He even built a monument to himself before offering sacrifices. Samuel's response cut straight to the heart of the issue. To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. Saul's outward religious performance meant nothing because his private obedience had already collapsed. Here's the picture. A lighthouse only protects ships if its light is actually connected to a working flame. A lighthouse with a beautiful structure but no fire inside gives the illusion of safety while ships crash on the rocks in the dark. A person praying loudly and confidently is not automatically the light you think they are. The structure can be impressive while the flame inside has gone out entirely. Ask yourself gently, does this person's private life match the confidence of their public prayer? You are not called to be their judge, but you are called to be a wise steward of what you receive. Sign 2. The one who prays to be remembered, not to help you. Some prayers are addressed to God, but performed for an audience, and you can often feel it before you can explain it. Look at Luke 18, the parable Jesus told of the Pharisee and the tax collector. The Pharisee stood in a prominent place and prayed loudly about how good he was compared to others. The tax collector stood at a distance, wouldn't even lift his eyes to heaven, and simply said, "God, have mercy on me, a sinner." Jesus said it was the tax collector, not the Pharisee, who went home justified before God. Think about a mirror for a moment. A mirror's entire purpose is to reflect something else. It has no light of its own. But some people treat prayer like a mirror pointed at themselves rather than at heaven. Every phrase becomes about their own eloquence, their own spiritual reputation, their own performance. And a prayer aimed at a mirror never actually reaches God. It just bounces back to the person who spoke it. If you walk away from someone's prayer more impressed by them than drawn closer to God, pay attention to that feeling. It is telling you something true. Sign 3. The one who uses prayer to manipulate your decisions. This is where prayer becomes the most dangerous because it hides control inside the language of blessing. Remember Balaam in Numbers 22 through 24? Balak, the king, wanted Balaam to curse Israel for his own political advantage. Balaam kept trying to find a way to bend God's message to fit what Balak was paying him to say. But every time Balaam opened his mouth, God forced a blessing out instead of the curse Balaam was being pressured to deliver. The story shows us plainly. Some people come to speak over you with an agenda already decided before they ever said a word. Picture a compass that has been tampered with. A broken compass doesn't tell you it's broken. It still spins, still gives you a direction, still looks entirely trustworthy. But it is quietly pointing you away from true north while you follow it with total confidence. A manipulative prayer works exactly like that broken compass. It sounds directional and confident, but it is pointing you towards someone's personal agenda, not toward God's actual will. Galatians 1:10 gives us the test. Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. If a prayer over you conveniently always points toward what benefits the person praying, that compass has been tampered with. If this is landing on you right now, go ahead and comment, "Lord, give me discernment over every voice that speaks into my life." Let's keep going, because the next two are the ones people almost never expect. Sign 4, the one who prays over you but resents your growth. Some people can pray beautiful words over your future while quietly hoping you never actually reach it. Look at Joseph's brothers in Genesis 37. Before they sold him into slavery, they mocked his dreams. "Here comes that dreamer," they said to one another. The tragedy is that his own family, the people closest to him, could not celebrate a future they were not part of building. Their jealousy didn't announce itself as jealousy. It disguised itself as mockery, and it could have just as easily disguised itself as an empty blessing spoken through gritted teeth. Think of a tree planted next to another tree that is jealous of its sunlight. That second tree cannot uproot its neighbor without exposing itself. So instead, it grows in ways that quietly block the light, not through obvious sabotage, but through slow, patient shade. Some people cannot bring themselves to sabotage you outright, so instead, they offer just enough prayer to look supportive, while subtly withholding real belief in your future. Proverbs 27:4 tells us plainly, "Wrath is cruel and anger is overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy?" Notice something. God doesn't ask who can survive rage. He asks who can survive jealousy, because jealousy is quieter and far harder to detect. Test whether someone genuinely celebrates the growth they are praying for, or whether their words and their actual support for your life tell two different stories. Sign 5, the one who prays from a place they have never actually stood. There is a kind of prayer that asks God for something the person praying has never wrestled through themselves. Think about Job's 3 friends in the book of Job. Chapter after chapter, they spoke confidently about suffering, about sin, about the ways of God, as though they had authority to diagnose Job's pain. But in Job 42:7, after all their speeches, God says something remarkable to Eliphaz. "I am angry with you and your 2 friends, because you have not spoken the truth about me, as my servant Job has." Their words sounded right, their theology sounded polished, but they had never actually walked through the fire they were speaking so confidently about. Picture an anchor that has never touched the ocean floor. It can be lowered over the side of a boat and look exactly like it's holding the vessel steady, but if it never actually reaches solid ground beneath the water, the boat will still drift, no matter how convincing the rope looks from the deck. A person can speak prayers about breakthrough, healing, or endurance, using all the right words, while their own life has never actually been anchored to the reality they're speaking about. That doesn't mean only people who have suffered exactly like you can pray for you. It means real spiritual authority is rooted in a genuine walk with God, tested through real obedience, not simply borrowed language that sounds convincing. So here's what we've uncovered together today. Watch for the lighthouse with no flame. Watch for the mirror pointed at itself instead of heaven. Watch for the compass that's been quietly tampered with. Watch for the tree that blocks your light while calling it shade. And watch for the anchor that has never touched solid ground. But please hear this clearly before we close. This is not a call to close your heart to prayer. It's a call to open your discernment. James 5:16 reminds us that the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective, which means genuine, God-rooted prayer is one of the greatest gifts you will ever receive from another believer. For the next 30 days, I want you to practice something simple. Before you receive prayer from someone new, pause, even just for a breath, and quietly ask the Holy Spirit, "Is this a voice I should receive?" That single pause could protect years of your spiritual life. If today this message helped you see something you couldn't quite name before, write this in the comments. "Lord, teach me to discern every voice that speaks over my life." If this blessed you, like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who receives every prayer without ever asking who is really speaking. Because in the end, it was never about closing your heart to prayer. It was about opening your eyes to who is truly praying with you and who is only borrowing heaven's name for their own purpose.